Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be cleaning and organizing, but I wanted to show you kind of a peek inside of a day of chores and around the house, organizing and cleaning, and what that generally looks like. Of course, every day is a little bit different in terms of the chores that I do and the way that the house looks and what needs more attention or less attention. But on most days, I kind of have my routine. No matter what type of space you're working with, I feel like a routine is really important to knowing what your goal is, and I feel like there's only so much you can get done in a day. So I always start with my indoor chores, and I call them chores, but honestly it's just kind of what needs to be done. So the kitchen, usually first thing in the morning, if I didn't clean it up after dinner and get it nice and clean, or my husband and I didn't clean up together, it'll be kind of cluttered. And I feel like with 2 kids and the dogs and the craziness, there's just a lot of things that are out of place, and then it can kind of give the appearance that the house is a lot messier than what it is. So just putting everything back in its place, cleaning the countertops, doing the dishes. I spend the most time cleaning in the kitchen for sure. And that is one of my first priorities in terms of cleaning, just because that gets the most foot traffic. And so I start by cleaning everything in the kitchen. I clean all the cutting boards, make sure those are ready to go for making breakfast and lunches and dinners and things like that. And so everything's kind of clean, ready to go. I have my compost pail, and it's good. So the kitchen, I definitely try to get first thing in the morning. I want to make sure that that's cleaned up, and I usually will have a cup of coffee and clean up the kitchen. So I either do a massive declutter in the morning, or I will do a massive declutter at night. But it seems like I'm pretty much throughout the day trying to move everything back to its spot and keep it as organized as possible. So this is an example of what the dining room will look like. You know, we've just put a little laundry on the table, there's sippy cups, there's diaper bags, random toys, shoes, and it just is a normal house that's lived in. So declutter it super quick, add a pretty plant, and then I like to try to dust my plants and kind of just clean the surfaces. So again, it's very superficial, but in the kitchen and in the dining room, I just take a sponge, clean the surfaces. We have a little area that we make our coffee in the morning. That can kind of tend to get gross. And just doing a really quick superficial clean, it could be a half an hour or 15 minutes of going full steam, and I can definitely get it looking less cluttered and messy than it does. Next, I'm going to move on to the living room. And this is where the kids like to play and the dogs like to hang out. I don't necessarily encourage my dogs to sleep on the furniture, but I also don't like to tell them to get off because they're just so cute. I mean, I do tell them to get off, but I don't like to enforce it if they're super comfortable. So I'm just gonna let Ozzy sleep there, and I'm gonna fluff the pillows and continue cleaning up the kids' toys. Now, if I'm doing a really quick declutter, I will usually just clean up the toys, but I do try to create a routine for my kids as well. Clean up time, just to encourage them to clean up after themselves. So I finally got Ozzy out off the couch, so I'm gonna take a lint roller. My dogs don't shed a whole lot, and when they do shed, it's pretty much only in the summer, and it's just a little bit, so their breed doesn't shed a whole lot, but I do like to use that to get any hair that did end up on the couch. And then I spray the couch with the linen spray that I made, I think in my last video or maybe 2 videos ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that on there, and then I put these faux candles. With the dogs and kids, I don't really put real candles low. I usually keep my real candles for high up places that the dogs and kids can't get into. So I started with the first half of the house in the morning. By this point, Oliver was off to school. Isaiah was taking a nap, so I decided to do a little bit more organizing in Oliver's room. Again, I do encourage him to fix his own bed, but sometimes the morning grind on the way out to school does not make for bed fixing. I decided to just go in there, pull the laundry, organize it a little bit, move the toys into their bins. And also the other thing that I wanted to do was pull any clothes that didn't fit him, because I feel like if I don't clean out their drawers at least every 2 months, they end up having clothes that don't fit them. So I moved the clothes that didn't fit him into the bin to save for Isaiah. And then I just kind of reorganized, made sure all of his new school clothes were fresh and ready to go. It's really crazy how school started so soon. I feel like we started school when I was a kid in September, but his school started in August, so I had to be ready to go with new clothes that fit him and everything. Next, I'm just fixing my bed, going into my room, and also decluttering my bathroom. My bathroom is another area, just kind of like the rest of the house, where it looks messier than it is just simply because it needs to be decluttered. So I'm gonna declutter, and then I'm gonna turn on my diffuser just so my bedroom and my bathroom smell really good. The other thing that I had been meaning to do was get rid of all of my old shampoo and conditioner bottles that are in the shower. So I went in my shower and just kind of cleaned up those. Now we're going to move on to my daily outdoor chores, which are done first thing in the morning. So first thing I wake up in the morning, I have coffee. We usually go outside. It's so nice outside in the mornings. It's nice and cool before it gets super hot, especially in the summer. And then we also go back out and finish chores after dinner. So I will either cook dinner or my husband will cook dinner, or sometimes we cook it together, and then we all go outside and the kids play and we walk around the premises and just kind of figure out what needs to be done for that day. Watering is definitely a daily task or chore, although I don't find it to be a chore because it's really lovely to see what's growing. You can see the cucumber there. We're going to turn those into pickles. And then the garden bed in the front of our property, we were growing some squash. We got about 5 or 6, small squash, and then it just died. So I'm actually picking the roots out here and prepping that bed for what we're going to grow this coming fall. I'll admit, when we first moved in and started doing these daily chores, it felt like a lot and it felt overwhelming. But as I started to do it, I actually started to really enjoy the process, and it became almost relaxing in a way. This is a little bit of a hard to reach area that I like to do by hand, and then I actually took the piles of leaves and used it for our new compost. We started a much larger compost, and I'll touch on that a little bit more when I do my next garden video, but I did want to show you guys kind of my routine and what it looks like. Like I said, everything's a little bit different every day, but hopefully you guys enjoy this video. It gave you some inspiration for your own space. I have cooking videos coming soon, some fashion videos, and some other videos coming soon. Always leave your requests below because I love to know what you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.